Welcome to Animania Chronicles, where we dive deep into the captivating worlds of anime, dissecting stories, unraveling characters, and sharing our passion for all things animated. After arriving outside the mansion, they realized that the demi-humans were still fighting to make their way inside. Naofumi told Ren not to reveal himself to them, but at that moment, they realized that the disgusting lord was still alive. Before their eyes, he began casting a spell to release a powerful monster that had been sealed away by the previous heroes. Immediately, the ground began to open, and the Lord commanded the monster to attack everyone in sight. As the dinosaur emerged, the Lord thought it was his lucky day but was trampled instantly, and the roar from the monster unleashed a mighty wind. When the monster began to destroy the mansion, Naofumi realized that they couldn't possibly fight it and suggested that they run away. They took off and hid behind a new building, hoping they would not be found, but the dinosaur appeared before them, and they wondered how it found them. Ready to take it on, Philo began charging toward it and struck it with a kick. Naofumi prepared his shield for support. As Philo flew over the monster, it followed after her, and Melty told Naofumi that the beast was drawn to the dragon remnant inside Philo's belly. At the same time, Philo bumped into the dinosaur, and Naofumi realized they could actually lure the monster out of the city. When he worried about the freed slaves, Ren promised to protect them and take them back to his region. With Raphtalia unwilling to abandon her friend, Keel told her that he was very proud of her and promised to stay safe until she returned. She gave him her bracelet as a parting gift, saying that they would meet again someday. In hopes of drawing the monster away from the city, Philo began hurrying away, and the dinosaur chased after them. As she hurried down the mountain, she ran through the forest before flying through the city, with the monster continuing the chase. Melty realized that Philo was truly its magnet, and they finally left the city. Philo wondered where they were headed, so Naofumi told her to run as far away as possible. As they began running out of the forest, the monster continued chasing them, destroying the trees. Once they were finally out of the forest, Naofumi told them to prepare for battle. Just then, the dinosaur charged out of the forest, and Naofumi cast an air shield before them, but it bumped into the shield and successfully destroyed it. Immediately, Philo bumped into it, and as she charged once more, she kicked it from the bottom, and Melty launched a blast, but the dinosaur remained unscathed. Hoping to land a killer blow, Raphtalia rushed forward and slashed it, but she couldn't even make a cut. Desperate to give it her best shot, Philo asked Naofumi to back her up. She flew towards the monster, smacking into it and using the shield for support. She flew high and, using another shield, landed a blow that barely moved the monster. Eager to prove herself, Raphtalia charged at it, and with a single stomp, it caused the ground to erupt, but Raphtalia ran through the destruction. However, Naofumi was wiped out by its tail. With the monster before his eyes, Naofumi decided to unleash his rage shield, but a voice stopped him. Melty told him that a mysterious being had cast them into a magic field, and Naofumi thought they were trapped for good. Just then, several Philoyals started running out of the forest to surround the dinosaur, and Naofumi wondered what the hell was happening. With the monster unrelenting, Naofumi tried activating his rage shield, but the mysterious voice warned him to be patient. As he demanded to know who it was, a large bird flew out of the water and landed before them. At the sight of it, they realized it was the Philoyal Queen. She told them to step back, willing to take on the beast, and asked it to leave immediately. However, the monster thought violence was the way and began rushing towards her. But she merely kicked it, shocking everyone with her great power, and the beast stumbled back as it unleashed a flame. The queen thought it was too weak and blocked it with a spell, but the force of the flame nearly blew everyone away. Ready to end it, the queen flashed past the dinosaur, killing it in an instant. With the monster dead, the queen told Naofumi that she wished to speak with him and immediately transformed into her humanoid form. She introduced herself as Vittoria and told them that she is the queen of all the Philoyals. After they introduced themselves to her, Naofumi asked her why she wished to speak with him. She suggested they leave for a suitable place. Naofumi told her that he would only leave after claiming his prize. Realizing he intended to claim a piece of the dinosaur, the queen told him that upgrading his skill with the beast materials was a bad idea, as she could sense the cursed powers inside his shield. Naofumi told her that these powers were saving him from getting his ass kicked and put a piece of the monster inside his shield, activating a new skill instantly. Before long, they appeared in an old, devastated city, and Vittoria told them that the former heroes lived there a few centuries ago, and that she had taken it as her new home since it was halfway across the world. Naofumi thought they would be safer there and suggested getting some rest before offering to make dinner. However, that night, as they tried to eat, they found several filials before them, hungry for a taste of the soup, until eventually, Naofumi agreed to make more for them. After the dinner, Vittoria told Naofumi that it was time to talk. As they began to stroll, she asked how the dinosaur was freed, but Naofumi was surprised by her words and wondered why she came to their rescue in the first place if she didn't know already. She told him that she had heard a new queen candidate was nearby and grew curious to meet her. Naofumi thought this candidate was Philo and decided to ask why Philo was growing differently from the other filials. Vittoria told him that it was only possible because she was being raised by a hero. She expressed her disappointment in all the heroes, having watched them squabble like useless losers. Naofumi tried telling her that everyone hates him even when he didn't do anything wrong, but she told him to make peace with them, as the heroes were meant to be peaceful with each other. As they sat on a rooftop, she informed him that the waves were appearing in other countries and wondered why they were not defending them. Naofumi was shocked by this discovery, realizing that the waves also appear in other parts of the world. Vittoria explained that the heroes were originally meant to be summoned to other countries whenever the waves appeared, but Naofumi was only hearing this for the first time. Vittoria told him that although she has no love for humans, she defends other parts of the world in honor of her hero. However, she couldn't keep defending the world on her own and said that she needed the help of the heroes before the weight became too much to bear. Meanwhile, in the capital, Ren and Itsuki discovered a hidden passage inside the church and thought some crucial secrets were being hidden there. Having followed Naofumi's clue, they shortly arrived at an archive and began to search for more clues. At the same time, Vittoria continued persuading Naofumi to make peace with the other heroes, saying that it was the only way to protect the world. Unwilling to change his mind, Naofumi told her that the other heroes hate his guts and have been trying to get rid of him from the start. Even so, Vittoria told him that heroes were never meant to be enemies. But Naofumi thought she was becoming annoying. Realizing his mind was made up, Vittoria told him that she had no other choice but to save the world by eliminating every one of them. The following day, while they were having breakfast, Vittoria appeared before them and trapped Melty inside a wind prison. When they wondered if she had lost her mind, she told them that she wished to keep Melty as her hostage. Naofumi demanded to know what she wanted, so she told him to reconcile with the others. However, Naofumi told her that he would not change his mind no matter how many times she tried to persuade him, and thought that her obsession with seeing them reconciled was becoming very annoying. She told him that he was giving her no other choice but to eliminate them all so that new heroes could be summoned. Raphtalia and Melty thanked her for the new wagon, with Philo claiming it as her own. Naofumi asked if another hero was close, so Vittoria told him that she could sense only one nearby and asked him to protect Philo. As she waved them off, she grew sad at the thought of returning to her lonely, boring, and dejected life. After arriving outside the city, Raphtalia began to wonder how they would sneak inside and cross the border into a new country. Melty thought they were better off taking a detour, afraid that their discovery would only lead to chaos. However, Naofumi remembered that he had promised Vittoria he would make peace with the others and told them that they must continue towards the checkpoint, hoping that Ren or Itsuki would be the hero inside the city, and thinking he just might be able to convince them that the princess had set him up. As they began approaching the checkpoint, they found Motoyasu and several knights waiting for them. Naofumi wondered why his ugly face was the one there, but knew that it was too late to turn around. At the checkpoint, Naofumi began telling the worthless loser that they had no intention of fighting, but merely wished to be allowed through the gate. However, Motoyasu grew angry at his words, struck him with his spear, and called him the devil, accusing him of brainwashing Philo and Raphtalia with his shield. Naofumi tried to call it nonsense, but Motoyasu struck him with his spear again. Naofumi told him that he had no intention of fighting him, but Motoyasu called him the demon he was summoned to destroy. Immediately, he unleashed a meteor thrust, but Naofumi shielded it, and the force nearly blew the girls away. However, when the dust cleared, Naofumi was still standing, and Motoyasu thought he was truly the devil for being so powerful. Naofumi wondered why Motoyasu was too stubborn to listen to anything he said, but Motoyasu blamed him for betraying the others and tried to split him in half. Naofumi knocked off his spear and dodged a jab, realizing at once that Motoyasu truly intended to kill him. Motoyasu told him that he was bent on avenging Ren and Itsuki's deaths, even if it meant living forever as the only surviving hero, and Naofumi was shocked by this discovery. Motoyasu said that he had come to avenge their deaths and would only leave after ripping off Naofumi's head. When Melty wondered how they died, the useless, hopeless fool accused Naofumi of brainwashing her, saying that it was the reason why she had no memories of it. Naofumi told him that he was innocent and asked him to open his useless eyes, but Malty appeared at that moment, saying that a priest from the church had spotted him releasing a sealed monster into the town and killing the heroes while they were distracted. At that moment, Naofumi realized that Malty may have eliminated the heroes. She cast a powerful energy that surrounded them with a lightning cage. As Naofumi blocked Motoyasu's spear, he shoved him back and trapped him inside a shield prison, but Motoyasu destroyed it instantly. At Naofumi's command, Philo tried attacking him, but Malty began casting a spell, summoning a circle of flames and raining fireballs. Melty cast a new spell, launching a water shield to douse the flames. Immediately, Philo began charging at Motoyasu and jumped to take him down, but Malty's assistant cast a tornado that Philo managed to dodge by transforming herself and jumping away from Motoyasu's strike. At once, she lunged at him with her golden claws, knocking him away. Raphtalia thought Philo was impressive. Unwilling to surrender, Motoyasu struck the ground, drawing energy for his meteor thrust and flung the wind saucer. A powerful light shot at Naofumi, and Motoyasu began firing chaos spears. When he asked for support, Malty and her backup unleashed a powerful combo of fire and wind. Motoyasu was certain that Naofumi could not possibly survive this attack, so he unleashed the Burst Flame Lance at Naofumi, and Malty's backup cast a tornado to stop Raphtalia, but she countered it with water, drenching everyone. At that moment, Naofumi realized that a combo skill of their own had been activated. Motoyasu told Raphtalia to abandon Naofumi because his own harem wasn't big enough, but she drew her sword and started casting a spell as she ran towards him. Naofumi cast a hiding shield to protect her, and as the air shield appeared, it turned into a monster shield and swallowed Motoyasu, but he managed to push it away. As Motoyasu charged again, Naofumi caught his spear, allowing Philo to kick him away, shocking Malty. Raphtalia snuck up behind her and slashed her with her invisible sword, saying that Naofumi was practically unstoppable. Without hesitation, Philo and Melty started casting a spell and unleashed a combined wind and water attack that blew their enemies away and dropped them like flies. Motoyasu wondered how they were so strong, even though they had not upgraded their class. Naofumi told him that while he was idling around and playing simp for the evil psychopath Malty, they were acquiring actual skills from real battles and fighting monsters of every kind. They tried everything they could to survive and told him to accept that he was a sore loser. Even so, Motoyasu just didn't know when to quit and began saying that his determination to kill Naofumi was as solid as ever and that it was the only way to restore peace to the world. Naofumi thought he was totally hopeless. At that moment, Philo sensed a great danger, and Raphtalia realized that all the soldiers had vanished. Immediately, Philo began kicking the worthless losers and told Naofumi to cast his shield prison over everyone before they were all sent to the great beyond. So he summoned the prison at that instant. However, Philo thought it was not enough, so Naofumi summoned 2 air shields over the prison. The others wondered if there was a killer eclipse or something. Before they knew it, a mighty flame descended on the shield with enough fire to burn their bones to dust, and they screamed, realizing this might be their end. The mighty inferno destroyed the air shields, toasting the prison like a walnut inside a furnace, and their lives flashed before their eyes. Just then, the fires cracked the shield, but Naofumi managed to protect everyone and screamed from all the burning pain. The fires eventually vanished, leaving a gaping hole in the ground. At once, Naofumi fell from exhaustion, but realized that everyone was safe. As they wondered what had just happened, a mysterious man appeared before them, applauding them for surviving the high-class multi-ritual magic judgment, and they discovered that he was the Pope from the church. Naofumi was in shock. The Pope told him that he came to punish him for showing no gratitude after receiving the holy water for Raphtalia's illness and blamed him for allowing the people to abandon their country. He He said that he had come to purify Naofumi in the name of God, but Malti wondered why she should suffer the consequences of his sins, calling herself their future queen. However, the Pope didn't care about her and said that the shield hero would be blamed for all of their deaths. He said that arrangements had been made for a new government to take the place of the royal family, as they had abused their power and disrespected the church, and he believed they deserved to be replaced. As for the heroes, he said that Motoyasu was the most useless of them all, blaming him for releasing a monster fruit to terrorize a village. He added that Ren had caused several deaths when he allowed a dragon's corpse to rot, and that even Itsuki had hidden away from his duty to help the people after slaying their lord. The Pope thought they were all fakes for having caused so much trouble when they should be saviors, and decided to appoint himself as judge and executioner. Motoyasu told him that he tried to help the people, but the Pope said he was a no-good, disgusting bummer who was a great embarrassment to his family, and admitted to eliminating the other heroes for poking their ugly noses where they did not belong, calling it God's judgment. Hearing his words, Motoyasu realized that Naofumi was truly innocent after all, but the Pope thought he had never seen a worse fool than Motoyasu. As he received a sword, he began declaring a purification of holy judgment on everyone, ready to end their lives with another massive flame. As he raised the sword, it began to glow with a golden light. When he unleashed it, Naofumi managed to shield against the flaming light until it vanished. The Pope said it was merely a test of Naofumi's strength and promised to annihilate him in his next attempt. Before their eyes, the sword upgraded to a spear, and they wondered how much power it possessed. Melty told them that the weapon was a replica of the ancient 4 cardinal weapons, which the king's army had tried to duplicate from the weapons of the legendary heroes. They had successfully created one weapon that could switch shapes and use the powers of all the legendary weapons. However, after this weapon was created, it mysteriously vanished a few centuries ago, never to be seen until this very day. Naofumi wondered why they were summoned to fight the waves when they already had such a powerful weapon. Melty explained that the weapon consumed a massive amount of mana and could only be used with an army of followers who released their mana into it. Impressed by her words, the Pope said that Melty was truly deserving to be next in line for the throne, and that Malty was too worthless to become queen, comparing her to a cold, hard body in the ground. Motoyasu vowed to avenge the slain heroes and cast a lightning spear to end the Pope, but it struck a barrier. Naofumi realized that the only way to defeat the Pope was to take out all his supporters because, without their mana, his weapon was just an empty instrument. Realizing he was too useless on his own, Motoyasu asked for Naofumi's support, and his party began to cast another magical combo. However, Philo wondered if they had left their brains at home or something. They prepared a wind and fire combo, and Motoyasu launched the combined blast at the Pope, but even this could not penetrate the barrier. The Pope wondered if they had any other secret move. Desperate to prove himself, Motoyasu prepared a new attack and hurled a meteor thrust on top of the Pope, but the barrier was there to stop it. The Pope told them that his barrier was impregnable, but the followers began to pass out from exhaustion. He then declared that it was his turn to attack. At once, he cast flames around them, and Naofumi realized that he couldn't shield against a full power attack, thinking this was definitely the end for them. Raising his spear, the Pope prepared to bring God's judgment upon them, but light arrows suddenly flew at him, nailing the barrier until it shattered. At that moment, Ren and Itsuki appeared before them, glad to have made it in time. They slid down into the hole, and everyone was surprised to see them alive. That's it for today. Stay tuned for grand finale of our Rising of the Shield Hero review series. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the vast realms of anime. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for more thrilling reviews and discussions. Until next time, keep exploring the boundless wonders of anime with us.